at the change in the last decade. We've had regular, in fact every Prime Minister of Australia since 2014 has met with Modi ji. The current Prime Minister, Mr. Albanese, and Modi ji actually have had 7 meetings to date. And I just cite that to you as an example of really this new energy, this new interest which has come into our foreign policy. And I contrast it in a way to how it used to be, that it was sometimes rare in one generation to see a high-level visit. It took us 20 years after independence to have the first prime ministerial visit to Australia. So the first message I bring to you today is the relationship is doing great. There's an enormous commitment from India, starting with the Prime Minister, to build on this partnership. And it is something which we regard today. Yesterday when I addressed the Indian Ocean Conference, I said I regard this as the most consequential relationship we have in the Indian Ocean. And that is why I am here, and that is why it is very likely, if all goes well, that you will keep seeing me coming to Australia. Now, I spoke to you about how the political exchanges at the leadership level have grown. But you take any other way of measuring, look at the trade today. Our trade with Australia is upwards of $20 billion, growing steadily. The hectare that we have concluded is really giving it a boost. We are confident that there will be a follow-up agreement to that. So certainly if one looks at the trade and investment side today, again, there is that sense that this is a relationship which is very much on the rise. Or look as a community at the community itself. Look at the growth in the community. Look at the fact today that there are so many more of you in so many different professions. And it is manifesting itself in different ways. I mean, we have just recently, when Prime Minister was here, we announced a new consulate in Brisbane. Australia has opened one in Bengaluru. And I expect more of this to unfold as the community grows. Or if I were to look in terms of defense and security, because for any country, that is something very important. That today we and the Australian Defence Forces work very closely as partners. We do exercises together. We allow deployments in each other's countries. We provide great support to each other. So this is today very much a relationship that is growing, that is deepening, that is getting new content, new substance, and a higher profile with I would say every passing month, every passing year. And it isn't only in Australia. Today, this is a very different India that we are talking about. This India is also developing a global footprint. And that footprint has actually brought us much deeper into this broader region itself. So if one looks at Fiji, or you look at Papua New Guinea, in fact look at all the Pacific islands which are close to Australia, there is again today an Indian presence, an Indian project, an Indian contribution, an Indian collaboration in some form. And last year, when we had a meeting of Pacific Islands, Prime Minister Modi committed that in key areas like health and education and space, we will be doing very much more with the Pacific Islands. And I mentioned that to you because when we do more in this larger region, that also contributes, that is part of our partnership with Australia as well. 10 years ago, as a country, we made a very big decision. And that decision led to Narendra Modi becoming the Prime Minister of India. at that time, he had been for about a decade and a half a very, very successful chief minister. But from being a chief minister to a prime minister, in many ways, the country took him on trust. The country expressed a hope, that they hoped that everything that he had done in his own state, the changes he had made, the governance, the good governance he had brought, that he would be able to take it to a national level and take the country to a very, very different place. 10 years have passed. We are again, of course, as you all know, poised to make another decision again. But I want you to reflect on these 10 years, because many of you would go to India. It's possible some of you may not have had the opportunity, or if you go to India also, you may go to your hometown or go to one city in India, may not have the chance, as many of us who live in India do, of traveling with you. But I ask you to think back in 2014. Suppose I was standing before you in 2014 and I told you that, you know what, we have just elected a prime minister whose administration and governance would see that this country, India, is in a position to regularly feed a population the entire size of Europe and North America, which is able to give free healthcare to more people than who live in Europe, which is able to give houses to people larger than the population of Japan, which is able to free women from firewood in their kitchens and give them gas cylinders, which is more than the population of Germany, which will give loans to people, small people who would normally never get those loans from banks, to allow them to stand on their own feet, and this would be larger than the population of South Africa. I think you people would not have believed me. And yet, that is exactly what has happened in the last 10 years.
Brace yourselves for a revolutionary leap into the world of news with the Republic World app. We are not merely presenting a news app. We at Republic TV are ushering in a new era of digital news consumption. The Republic World mobile app has the essence of power of breaking news and the heartbeat of our impactful shows seamlessly integrated into a singular dynamic platform for you. Join us, viewers, in an experience that goes beyond conventional news reporting. Don't merely witness the news, become a part of it. Download the Republic World app, now available on both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.